Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're tackling a massive, kind of mind-blowing misconception that holds so many of us back. You know, so many people think the reason they aren't building a successful money-making business is simply because they lack good ideas. We all watch those endless lists of top side hustles, right? But nothing really clicks. Well, I'm here to tell you, the problem isn't a lack of business ideas. It's actually a complete lack of observation. The ideas are literally right in front of you. And in today's explainer of our source material, we're going to fix your vision.
So here's our agenda for this masterclass. We'll start with the invisible business gorilla, unpack the factory education trap, and reveal the hidden empires around you. Then we'll categorize opportunities into 3 types of gorillas, learn to beware of the anti-gorillas, and finally, get into mapping your first business. Let's dive right in.
Section 1. The invisible business gorilla and how to spot the opportunity.
There's this incredibly famous Harvard experiment that perfectly captures how blind we can actually be. Picture this. You're asked to watch a video of people passing a basketball, and you're given one very strict instruction. You have to count exactly how many times the ball is passed by the people wearing white shirts. So you're completely locked in, right? You're counting 15, 16, 17 passes. But wait, did you see the gorilla? The absolute shocker here is that while you are hyper-focusing on counting the ball, a person in a full gorilla suit literally walked right across the middle of the screen. Because of that single, strict instruction, 90% of people completely miss a giant gorilla.
Scientists actually have a name for this. It's called inattentional blindness. This happens when your brain effectively just filters out completely obvious information simply because it's hyper-focused on following a specific instruction. Your eyes are working perfectly fine, but your brain is deciding what to process and what to ignore. And here is the real kicker. This exact same psychological phenomenon is happening to you every single day when it comes to spotting money and business opportunities.
Moving on to Section 2, the factory education trap, a 200-year-old problem.
So you might be wondering, who actually programmed us to have this blindness in the first place? Well, we have to look back at a 200-year-old villain. Just look at this comparison, it's honestly staggering. When the Industrial Revolution hit about 2 centuries ago, the world suddenly needed millions of obedient workers. So the factory model of education was born. Think about a factory for a second. You've got bells starting the shifts, assembly lines, quality control, and supervisors. Now look at our school system. You've got bells starting the periods, rows of benches that look exactly like assembly lines, grades acting as quality control, and teachers acting as supervisors. We were never trained to be observant thinkers or entrepreneurs. We were explicitly trained to be obedient workers who just follow instructions without asking questions.
Back in 1835, Lord Macaulay actually shaped an education policy in India with a very specific goal in mind. He stated, "The aim was to form a class that was Indian in blood and color, but English in taste, in opinions, in morals, and in intellect." The explicit, stated goal of this system was to create obedient clerks to serve the British administration. And guys, that systemic programming is the exact instruction blinding us today. It tells us to get a safe job, follow the rules, and completely ignore the entrepreneurial gorillas standing right in front of us.
Which brings us to Section 3, hidden empires around you, hiding right in plain sight.
So what happens when you finally break that programming and look at the real world? Check out this number, 75 crore rupees. Every morning you put on a shirt, right? Have you ever noticed that tiny little washing instruction label scratching the back of your neck? Most of us just cut it off, throw it away, and never think about it again. But in India, there's a family business that has been manufacturing just those tiny clothing labels for 30 years because they saw the gorilla that the rest of us ignored. That tiny piece of fabric generates a massive 75 crore rupees in annual revenue for them. Insane, right?
Or how about this? 3,000 crore rupees. A young man from a village in Kerala whose father was a daily wage worker decided to start selling ready-made dosa batter. He just noticed the daily friction people faced when trying to make it from scratch. With a mere 50,000 rupee investment, he set out to solve that problem. Today, that company is ID Fresh Food, which is an incredible empire valued at 3,000 crore rupees. They supply batter all across the globe to places like Dubai, the US, and the UK.
If you thought that was wild, wrap your head around the staggering figure, 1.31 thousand crore rupees. Let me tell you about Anil Agarwal. He left school at just 15 and started working with his father as a scrap dealer, a kabadiwala, in Bihar. Most people look at scrap dealing as a lowly job, completely blinded by their societal filters. But he saw an opportunity in metals. He built on it, and today he is literally known as the Metal King. His company, Vedanta, has a turnover of 1.31 thousand crore, from a teenage scrap dealer to a billionaire.
So how do we actually start seeing these opportunities for ourselves? Well, you have to reprogram your reticular activating system, or your RAS. Your RAS is basically a filter in your brain that decides what information gets through, and it bases that on what you expose it to every day. If you only consume content about toxic bosses and complaining about salaries, your brain filters out business ideas. It's that simple. But if you change your daily content consumption, you start watching business case studies, listening to founder podcasts, you actively reprogram your RAS. You start spotting high-level systems everywhere. It's kind of like how the Lemon app uses AI to strip away the emotional guesswork and spot logical options trading setups based on real market data. You can train your brain to spot logical business setups in the exact same way. When you upgrade your inputs, your brain upgrades what it notices.
Section 4. 3 types of gorillas so you can categorize these ideas.
To help you categorize all the opportunities you're about to start seeing everywhere, we can break down your options based on capital and scale. First up, we have the service gorilla. This requires absolutely zero financial investment, just your skills and your time. Think freelance video editing or managing someone's social media. Next is the product gorilla. This requires low to medium investment upfront, but it allows for massive scale because you make it once and sell it endlessly. Think of that dosa batter empire or even digital ebooks. Finally, there's the arbitrage gorilla. This is simply buying cheap in one place and selling higher in another, profiting from the price difference. It could be buying tea outside a college for 10 rupees and selling it inside for 15, or even something as big as a toll booth charging for access to a road. Categorize your ideas using this framework so you know exactly what kind of beast you're dealing with.
Now for Section 5. Beware the anti-gorillas. You have got to avoid the fake ideas.
As your eyes open up, you're also going to start seeing a lot of traps. To protect yourself from these anti-gorillas, always run an opportunity through these 3 critical questions. Number 1, is a real problem being solved? If it's an MLM or some pyramid scheme where you just recruit friends to recruit more friends, run away. Number 2, will this survive without the current trend? If it's a fleeting meme coin or an NFT craze, that's not a sustainable business. And number 3, do they demand money before providing value? Real businesses deliver value first. Fake ones demand an upfront fee with vague, flashy guarantees of wealth.
Finally, Section 6. Mapping your first business. It is time to take action today.
All right, now for a highly practical exercise to get you out of your chair and taking action right now. Here is your 3-step framework for spotting real opportunities. Step 1, spot the transaction. When you walk outside today, literally watch where money flows. Are people paying for parking? For tea? For printing? Step 2, find the friction. Where is the daily irritation in that specific transaction? Is the delivery painfully slow? Is the quality terrible? Do you have to walk way too far to get it? Step 3, check the frequency. Is this an irritation that happens just once a year, or does it happen daily? You want to find high-frequency, daily frictions, because let me tell you, that is exactly where the gold is.
And this brings us to the ultimate exercise, the money map. I want you to grab a piece of paper, draw your home right in the center, and map out a 500-meter radius around it. List every single business you can think of, the salon, the tea stall, the gym, that tiny little Xerox shop on the corner. Then do some basic guesswork on what their daily revenue might be. Once you fill out this map, a massive realization is going to hit you. Millions of rupees are flowing all around you every single day. You just haven't inserted a solution into that flow yet.
I want to leave you with this final, really powerful thought. No one starts with an empire. Jeff Bezos started with books in a garage. Elon Musk started with a $500 video game. We have to stop giving ourselves excuses, right? Stop saying you don't have time while you're endlessly scrolling through social media. Stop saying you have no money when service gorillas require absolutely zero capital to start. Your eyes are open now. The invisible gorillas are everywhere. I challenge you, go out there today and catch your very first 5,000 rupee gorilla. So look around. What invisible empire is staring you right in the face today? Thanks for tuning in to this explainer, and keep learning.